You got cheers first, man.
Of course, my brother. Cheers, man. Success, entrepreneurship.
Make sure my beard, is nice and shiny.
You got Nas? I want Nas in. I've never been a Met fan in my life. But today, because I'm wearing the legend Nas, it's on. Welcome to the Dads Group Chat Podcast. I am your host. They call me G. And today we got the good brother, James Harris, DJ Brownboi in the building, baby. What's going on, James?
What's up, man? Everything is good. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Nah, man, listen, we connected in the DMs. You said, yo, my brother, I need to get on. I'm like, yeah, you definitely do. We got a lot to talk about, baby.
Yo, for sure. When I saw the footage from like your other shows, which are actually great, by the way, fantastic podcast that you got going on here, I was like, yeah, I need to make a move over there because like a lot of the things y'all talk about is really dope, and like a lot of the images, like and things like that, and taking videos, recording and stuff, like it's really cool. I think you're really doing a good job over here. I want to get down support, man. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? As I hold my red plastic cup.
Hey, listen.
I'm a responsible drinker, so
we're good. We're good on this side. So yeah, you welcome to the cave, of course.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Dads Group Chat Podcast. I know it says Dads Group Chat Podcast, but this is more like a conversation about pretty much anything, right? Mm-hmm. And me playing it back, right? Me looking at the social media now that I have a couple of episodes, a couple of solid guests in the cave. I'm like, wow, this is really becoming something. This is really, it's different conversations, male and female, group conversations. I like challenges. So, I like those deep conversations. It could be fun conversations. It could be whatever it is. We'll have topics, but then it'd be like, it go left and it goes good either way. Yeah. So yeah, man, welcome. I know that you are a DJ. Mm-hmm. I know that, you're looking into the entrepreneur world. When we just spoke before off camera.
Yeah, just coming before that, and then the ride here talking about that stuff.
You was telling me you wanted to get in.
Yeah.
What type of work you want to do? What do you want to create, my brother?
First of all, thanks for having me once again. What's up to your fans and everybody, your fam?
Shout out to the fans, baby.
My name James Harris, aka DJ Brownboi. DJ for 31 years, so just celebrated 31 years this past March. So. God bless that, and thank you. It's a long journey, but we'll get into it, and all the other stuff. But just entrepreneurship in a whole, I have my own LLC right now, so I'm just trying to build that more as an individual because I've been with a lot of entertainment companies in the past, which have been great.
Right.
But since the past couple of years, I've been trying to find my own footing for the most part, and it's getting there. Like my name is actually getting out there a little bit more with a lot of venues and clubs and bars and lounges, even with like a lot of party goers in the city. Like they'll see me on the street and they're like, "Yo, Brownboi, what's up? I was at your joint last week." I'm like, I have no idea who you are because there's so many people that come up to me in the street and say what's up. But it's a good feeling to have that. But just going back to the entrepreneurial side of things, that's like something. We would, like I said, we were talking about in the ride over here. I definitely want to build more on because. You know when something's right for you, and
of course
it's not easy. Entrepreneurship is not easy.
We're gonna get into that. It's it has its highs and lows, right? It's great, but there's a lot of information that is out there that I feel like I had to seek myself, and I had like no guidance on. So a lot of this is kind of like trial and error, but it's great because you're learning as you go, right? I have an LLC too for this too, but I got an LLC before anything. I just thought, let me protect it, right?
Yeah.
But even in that, like as I'm learning, I might have wasted a little bit more money than I should have on a couple of things because I'm an overbuyer. So now that I got this going on, I'm here like, let me get this camera, let me get this mic, I got like 50 cables of different
You can never
things.
have too many cables.
Now listen.
Never have too many cables.
If anybody needs cables out there.
So anybody needs cables, he got them.
But yeah, listen, entrepreneurship is beautiful. But what I have learned throughout this whole journey is, your 9 to 5 will feed that entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So stay consistent, of course, in what you're doing in your passion, in your LLC side of things until you get that kind of break. And that's with everything, right? Yeah. But like we was talking before, there's a lot of gatekeepers out there that hold information, and I don't know why they do that. But once I start figuring things out, even in this space, in the podcast space, I'm like, oh, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to do. Why couldn't somebody tell me this? Somebody that knows. You see what I'm saying? So that's the other thing, man. But as you learn, as you go, you learn. and it's all information. It's all valuable.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You touched on a lot of great points, specifically with information. Just going back to something you said earlier, like a lot of times we overthink and we overbuy, and we just Is over worry a statement? I guess over worry is a statement. Well, it's a statement now. Over worry is a statement. So a lot of times we have these stories that we tell ourselves in our head all the time. You know, the worst enemy is the person that's internally, the person that's in your head. Wow, the voice inside your head is sometimes your worst enemy and sometimes your best enemy. It's kind of like the angel and the devil.
Gift and the curse.
Yeah, so you got two sides of your brain telling you one thing, and the other side telling you the other thing. So you just kind of have to have that medium, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, entrepreneurship is very important. Like you said, you have to have your 9 to 5 to feed that hustle. But I look at it as like, you know, you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears to 9 to 5. Of course, you got to eat. You got to put food on the table, roof over your head. You got to support your family and support yourself. Right. But you're giving 8 hours to something else. Why not give another few hours after to yourself, even if it's like a half hour a day? Like, you ain't got to go home and do like all 12 hours after an 8-hour shift. That's like a 16-hour day. It's like, that's too much. But, you know, pace yourself. Okay, I'm going to get home. I'm going to dedicate a half hour to this.
Right.
Next week, let me dedicate an hour to this.
Right.
So where it gets to a point where you're dedicating 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and it just goes by like nothing. So it's very important to really understand that as an individual. And like you said, it's not easy, but the work and the consistency and the discipline will definitely pay off in the end.
Oh, yes. So as I was mentioning before, right, as I'm looking at all the reels now that I have enough, like I feel like it's not enough, of course, but to me, when I look back, like let's say the last year, I had a couple of great guests, right? I had a couple of great conversations. Everything I do in each podcast is kind of like a little bit of elevation to it as I'm learning, because I'm also doing the editing. I'm also doing the processing and all that stuff. But I'm learning things here and there to kind of like alleviate myself a little bit more too of certain duties. But it's like you said, man, you have 8 hours to work, right? 9 to 5, right? Everybody 9 to 5. That's the general stuff. People who say, oh, you got 8 hours to work and then you got 8 hours to do something else and then you sleep 8 hours, that's not realistic. No, that's definitely not realistic. But half an hour to an hour a day, when you look at it, five times a week, right? Let's say 5 hours a week you're dedicating. Multiply that times 52. That's how much hours you've put into your own craft.
Yeah.
So that's important. When you look back, and then like you said, when you look back, it's all paying off, right? Because you're seeing the growth within yourself, and you're learning information, and you're reaching new levels. By the time you look back, that's the old you, right? Yeah. This is the new you. Pat yourself on the back, but also know that there's still a lot more learning to do. Never stop learning.
There's always room to learn. There's always room to expand. Like never settle in that space, because everyone has room for improvement. Even I have room for improvement. You have room for improvement. You know, it's always about leveling up, but level up and pace yourself. You can't get from 1 to 100 in one day. Get from 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 40, 40 to 70. So it's really about pacing yourself and understanding what's going on. And also, like I always tell like people who I know who are entrepreneurs, you know, you have to kind of embrace both sides, embrace the success and embrace the failure. What I mean by embracing the failure is learn from it, because a lot of successful people, they learn from their failures. So when you get that method into your everyday practice in being an entrepreneur, if you fail at something, you know, it's kind of like, it's not the end of the world. So, all right, let me learn from this situation so it won't happen again. But, you know, it's very important. Like I said, discipline, consistency, and really focusing on yourself and what you want to do is very important. And we just got to keep on doing that, man. Got to keep on going.
Yeah. And, you know, to me, there's a quota that I have to meet on L's in a month, right? I have to take enough L's for me to know that I've learned enough to kind of like elevate.
Got to take enough lumps on the face.
Right. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Even though, let's say, you know, we gain weight, we lose weight, whatever, right? Right now, I feel that I need to lose weight, right? I've lost weight.
No, you look great, man.
Nah, man, listen, we're going to talk about that later.
You look great, man. Yo, he looks great.
Nah, listen. No, to me, I don't, right?
But there's that voice in your head.
That's that voice in my head.
Yeah, you got to lose weight. But the other side, nah, man, you look good. You got to lose weight. Yeah, but you look good. Yeah, you got to lose weight. You look good. You know,
that guy in my right ear telling me, now you look good. he wants 20 more pounds on me. That's not gonna happen, baby.
All right.
But like I was saying, like even losing weight, that takes time. You're not gonna lose 50 pounds in like a month. Yeah. That's dangerous if you do, but you know, regardless of the fact, everything takes time. And then by the time you look back to our earlier point, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I've lost weight. I've lost dramatic weight. Me not noticing it, me still thinking that I'm kind of big. And then now I look at those pictures and I'm like, the hell?
But you know, it's always the people that's around you that will say that, yo, you lost weight, you slimming down, because we don't see it and feel it immediately. Like I always say, like I lost a few inches, I haven't lost weight. And I've been going back to the gym consistently within the past like 4 or 5 months.
Looking good too, my brother.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm only 5'4", but I'm 8'5" in my mind. My ego is 8'5". I'm only 5'4". My ego is big.
That's that right here.
Yeah, that's the right. That's the. Hey, where's my right? This is my the right here telling me. But you know, just being consistent and going to the gym and just doing little things here and there. Like I used to be really heavy into the gym, but then you know we get comfortable and we slack off. But the reason why I really got back into that because you know I'm not a young kid anymore. I'm a grown man. You know, I don't know if you guys see the gray in the beard, but you know, we're getting up there in that age and I want to be around for a long time. So, you know, it's very important just to take care of yourself. And I'm not saying go in there and like throw weights across the room and like lift 700 pounds just to show off in front of the girls and the tights and the dudes. You know, I want to be to the point, I'm going to say this all with all
don't
respect.
Catch a cramp.
Yeah, don't catch. I'm going to say it's all respect to all those gym goers and gym rats out there.
Go ahead.
I want to be able to turn around and wipe my own ass.
There you go.
That's how big I don't want to get.
There you go.
You know what I mean? If I can't turn around and wipe my own ass because I'm too big like this, that's a problem. But you know what I mean? But everybody has that lane. Like I want to get like that. I don't want to get that big. I want to stay slim, trim. I want to put, you know, a little muscle on me in case, you know, something pop off, you know what I mean? Listen. But you know, we got to protect ourselves in that sense. You know, hopefully it doesn't have to come to that, but it's all about, like I said, being healthy, feeling good about yourself, and giving yourself more energy because taking care of yourself health-wise, not only physically, but mentally and sometimes spiritually, who those are people who are really religious in a sense, so to speak. It's very important because if all that is in place, it's going to take you to the next level. Like you have to be right with yourself before you do something else.
100%. And it goes into everything, entrepreneurship, self-care, right? You know, you mentioned something earlier I want to bring back, like, for those people who can't wipe their ass, was that the goal? Like to not wipe your ass, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. You should make some dad wipes. People that can't wipe their ass, yo, make some dad wipes with the podcast logo on it. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, go to USPTO right now. Check that trademark, baby.
Dad group chat wipes.
I put the logo on it and everything.
There
baby.
you go.
Boom. There you go. Speaking of self-care, right? Earlier, my sister was making jokes and stuff about us and our beards and how we how we are like putting oils and stuff. Listen, this is genuine care. Like we're taking care of ourselves.
Yeah,
we got to look right.
I mean, I love it.
All right. I'm loving it. All right, cool.
Thank you.
That's a good thing.
Thank you.
You know, the salt and peppers and all that. My wife loves it too. You know, it got to come in right. You know, I can't be looking crazy out here. I got to, you know, this is why everything is a process, right? Slimming down, you know, the beard got to look right. You got to look right. This is why we go, you know, in the barbershops. Back in the day, they just used to, you know, do whatever they did. Now they're putting towels on our face. I mean, they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, they do it for a minute.
Exfoliating and all that. Come on, baby. We're taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, self-care is important. Like, just getting back to, you know, specifically for black and brown men, like, it's very important. Like, when you step out into the world, definitely, like, your appearance is very important because no matter if you have on a suit or if you're dressing casual, if you're in athletic wear, you know, there's going to be times, unfortunately, where people are going to look at you and be like, okay, it's always that judgment. You know, that first impression is very important. It's kind of like, you know, when you meet a nice young lady, you know, what I've been told and information I've gotten from watching YouTube, I'm a YouTube buff, is that the first thing that women notice on a man is their shoes. Like if their shoes are not polished, if they're not clean, that will give them a sense of that this person is not taking care of himself. If the shoes are on point, they're polished, they're clean, even if they're sneakers, whatever, if they're neat, this person takes pride in his appearance. So self-care is very important. And just going back to the beards, you know, I just kind of feel funny. If I don't have facial hair, I feel funny.
Right.
Like if you ever see me without any facial hair, it's because I made a mistake. Because I cut my own hair. I stopped going to the barber maybe 15 years ago.
Nice.
So I just kind of learned YouTube University, trials and errors. One side used to be lower than the other, but then I got used to just doing it, But like I said, I feel naked without hair in my face, and it's just an evolution of growth. As a man, if you're able to grow a beard, if you want to grow a beard, I would suggest growing one. But yeah, it's like a separate character. It's kind of like my glasses. But without my glasses, I'll be like bumping into stuff like this, and I'll be knocking over the mic, and you're like, "Yo, James, mic is over here, huh? What? Okay." And without my beard, I just feel like for me, I feel like I'm
you're invisible,
not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the beard is a character. Oh, I like your beard. Can I touch it? By the way, don't touch my beard.
Don't touch mine.
Don't
either.
touch my beard.
My wife will get you.
Unless your hands are clean. Yes. But going back to self-care is very important, specifically for men. That's something I really value every day, with working out and the grooming and stuff like that, and the dressing and the style. It's just very important, especially as far as entrepreneurs, like, with your podcast, me with my DJing, like, you have to be your own personal brand. Your personal brand speaks for itself. So even when you walk in the room, you can say, yo, he's about something. You even got to say a word. Those dudes that just walk in the room, they just loud, and you be like, yo, why are you talking for? I even say hi. Like, you just come in here and but those dudes that come into the room, they're humble. They do what they gotta do. You like, yo, he's about something. You know what I'm saying? So
it's the attention.
Yeah, it's a catch-20. So you just got to find your lane in your pocket and just kind of ride with that.
It's an energy thing. Thing. And listen, speaking of the beards, right?
Yes.
You said it earlier, like self-care, beard care. We find ourselves now putting oils and all types of elements in the beard. I have beard shampoo. It's a lifestyle. It took a while for me to get the beard, though. I had to put castor oil. I put olive oil. I put lemon. I put the spicy one.
Cinnamon.
There you go, the cinnamon oil. I tried it all, man. I had my face burning. My dad never really grew a beard until he was like 30, because I had to ask him. I'm like, yo, where's my beard? Like, I'm 30. Like, I'm 32.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it took me a while, too. I'm like, man, listen, but now once I got it, I'm not taking this off.
Yeah, it's the beards, for everyone that's listening out there, the beards are just like a separate entity in its own. I took some time growing my beard too, and with the beard care going back, I did a bunch of oils too and things like that. I mean, my face never burned, thank God. But you live and learn, right?
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, but just taking care and just being patient. Not everyone has, it's all genetics too. Like, if someone in your family has great beard genes, I guess.
Right, I guess.
Hopefully it'll be passed down to you, but it just takes time and patience. And the thing about beards, I read somewhere heard somewhere that, if you see a gentleman with like a really full, nice beard, that means that this person has a lot of wisdom.
Yes, I've heard that.
And patience and discipline, because it's not easy growing all this right here and maintaining it. Like, so it takes time.
That is very true.
It takes care, and it also takes not what you put in your face, but what you put in your body. Too. Eating right and eating healthy, like those things can feed your genes to feed your beard. But for the guys who can't grow a beard, it's all good. You just gotta find your niche and find what's good for you. And like you said, self-care is very important, because within the past maybe 10 or 15, even 20 years, like men's grooming has just like shot up.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of men out there like just like purchasing face care,
kits.
body care kits.
Right.
I have a few myself.
Me too.
I actually just dropped a bunch of money on the Rock skincare Papa Tui, and it's a really great. It's at Target. It's a really great line for men and stuff, men's skincare. But it's very important, because we step out the house like black and brown men, like I was stating earlier. Your appearance is very important. So if you have beautiful, shiny, glowy skin, that's really key, because first impressions are everything, and it makes you feel good. If you look good, you feel good, and you act good. You know what I mean?
That's what it's all about, and for like I mentioned earlier, for all of you guys who are trying to get a beard and don't necessarily get it, let it grow like maybe 6 to 8 months. Don't touch it. Don't even go get a haircut. Just hide. That's what I had.
Hide?
I listen. I hid for
You had to
almost
hibernate?
a year. I had to hibernate to let this beard grow.
So when you go to take out the garbage, you just ran through the garbage and ran back in the house because you were hiding?
You know what helped me? You know what helped me for real? The pandemic. I stood in the house. I could show you pictures and videos, man. I was out here like with the beard.
Yo, everybody was going crazy with the pandemic with the beard games. Like, yo, I can't go to the barber, bro.
Listen,
I look like a grizzly. I'm like, all right, you know.
Listen, that was the time. If you needed to grow a beard, the pandemic was the time.
Yeah. And you go to the barber still and stuff like that?
I go to the barber now once a month.
Okay.
I typically shape it up myself.
Yeah, I do it myself
I could cut myself too, but you were saying, yeah.
Yeah, I do it myself too. Like, that's just a lot of learning too. Trust me, I've had crazy war stories where like one side was shorter than the other and this side was up here in my eye and this side was down here like this. And so I can't walk out the house like this. So thank God to YouTube University and being patient and just trial and error, just learning the curves and taking care of it, and also washing it daily. You know, because it's very important, because if you look at it, it's only maybe 5 to 10% of men generally that are really into self-care and really take care of themselves. Most guys,
we could deep dive into that.
Just go out, just whatever. Like, you know, they don't really care, because maybe a lot of them are comfortable. They don't really care about self-care. But for guys like myself and yourself, like, we're really big on that, because it's important. You know, if you, like I said, if you look good, you feel good, you act good, and good things will come.
I wanted to dive into social media expectations.
Oh, here we go.
Right? Because even me in this space, right, now that I feel like I'm running against myself, right? It's like, I need to put a podcast. Yeah. I want to take my time.
Yeah.
I don't want to rush. So you'll see a podcast maybe once, twice a month, and that's okay for me. This is my pace. I don't need to be at anybody else's pace. This is my pace. Of course, there's a lot of things going on outside of this. I'm working full-time outside of this, but I like it. I don't feel like I'm in a rush to do anything. I feel like I'm at such a comfortable space that I just come here, press record, got a great guest with me.
That's what's up.
We talk our shit. We have great conversations, and then we move forward. That's it. Now, there's a lot of people out there that, even at our age group, right, they feel like social media expectations is everything. What do you think about that?
Social media.
Because listen, we always say that this is damaging the next generation.
Oh,
but it caught us off guard too.
It definitely is, and we can really go into that because, as you all know, social media is just like a monster. It's like an entity in its own self, and it's really how you use your social media and what you use it for. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that use it for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
It's become a part of our lives. It's become a part of society. It's become a part of the world.
Yes.
So we just have to navigate it and use it wisely to the best of that individual's liking. But at the same time, social media does put a lot of pressure on a lot of people. People my age, your age, younger people, even like people older than us. We were very fortunate enough to come up in an era where there was no social media. But now we're into the social media, so we kind of have the best of both worlds. We know what it's like without being posting all the time and stuff like that. We actually lived our lives.
Yes, we could disconnect.
Yeah, we can disconnect. Exactly, we can disconnect. Yeah. But now it's kind of to the point, like even like entrepreneurs and me as a DJ, social media is very important. And it's kind of funny because I don't like taking out my phone and recording during gigs, especially during like weddings and private events where something's more sentimental and things like that. But there have been times where like the party's going crazy and I'm like, oh snap, I should have got that footage. But I just don't feel right taking out my phone when someone's doing their first dance or doing their vows and I'm just like this and recording. That just looks kind of corny to me. But social media is it's a gift and a curse, and there's a lot of people that are really affected by it. And there's a lot of people that hide behind it. You know, a lot of people use social media
that's another thing,
to be a different person. But when you see them in person, they're totally different. Like, think about it. A lot of these influencers out here, a lot of them are broke.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not. A lot of them are broke. Unless you're really up there and you're really like a digital marketer, an affiliate with a major corporation.
Right.
That's great. But a lot of them are just broke. And you see all these individuals just spending their time just posting, recording. Like, I'll just see people on the street putting up a tripod across the street and they're walking across the street just to get an angle. I'm just like, you did all that just to get a 2-second angle of you going like this. But if that person's invested in doing that stuff and they're being compensated, or they're looking to get compensated in that stuff, I totally understand it. But for someone like myself, I just don't have the time and the effort and the passion to do that.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain times where I'm like, oh, let me get that, let me catch it, let me get the stories, let me put it on my thing, because like it goes back to helping your personal brand and stuff like that. Because
100%.
You know, content is very important. You know what I mean? Like
in this day and age,
yes, people want to see what you're doing, especially if you want to build a following or a brand, or you have a business or just anything. They just want to see what you're doing. Now, like I said, it's annoying pulling out your phone every 5 seconds.
It is.
And talking into it, but people have their own lane. You know what I mean?
Social media is the times, man. The times, you hit it in the head. It's like if you have something going on and you need some content, then yes, you may be working that 9 to 5, or you may just be a content creator. That's your space, and you're really trying to achieve something with this. Then that makes sense. Like you also said, which also hit it in the head. There's a lot of people hiding behind social media.
Yeah.
And we do have the best of both worlds. We know how to disconnect. Some of us don't, to be honest. Shit, like I've seen that too. But people get lost in this space. And I was telling somebody today earlier at work, we was talking about social media and kind of like the good and the bad, the gift and the curse about it.
Yeah.
Like we was like, you know, we was talking about the violence rate here in New York City, right? It's gone up dramatically. There's a lot going on. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? In the 90s, when I was in the Bronx, when I was in Queens, in the neighborhoods, it was bad. The thing was that we was outside without social media, right? So we're seeing these things happen periodically. So to us, it was probably, all right, you know, this is probably going to happen every other month, right?
Right.
But when you have social media in front of you, now you're seeing it, Harlem, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, everything, everywhere, every state. Like, you're seeing it constantly, so you're thinking it's worse than before, but it's kind of like the same thing. So people get lost in social media thinking that there's a lot of truth in it too. I mean, there's a lot of things happen. It's actually a gift for us to actually be able to see a lot of information, but what it's going to do to our mental health in the future, forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's people out there that are actually like trying to sue like a lot of these big social media companies because, you know, it's affecting my teenage daughter. It's affecting my teenage son. You know, the images that's coming up in their feed is really making them depressed, like to the point where they want to lose weight, or they want to gain weight, or they want to look like their favorite celebrity or stuff like that. But you know, the thing about social media is that it's capturing all the stuff that's happening every day. Now, these things were happening every day when we were growing up, of course, but there was no cell phones,
right? No,
with cameras, so it was kind of okay. It happened, all right. Like you said, it's probably gonna happen next month. But stuff is happening every day. And what's the one thing that people do when something goes down?
Oh, yeah.
Take out their phone and they film. Instead of helping that person,
instead of enjoying the concert. Instead of like
out my phone,
enjoying the
like
moment.
This.
Right.
Even like in business meetings, I don't carry my phone into business meetings.
Right.
Like I leave it in my desk charged, because if you're in a professional business meeting with someone, or you're having a conversation with someone, you know, your phone should be away. Your attention should be on that person or whatever's happening.
100%.
You know, that's just a level of respect. You know, it's just, we're old school, so we're brought up like that. But this younger generation will talk to you. Yeah, and it's like, are you listening to what I'm saying? Yeah, I am. No, you're not. You're on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
speaking of TikTok, right? There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, right? But
oh man,
I have a TikTok page for the Dad's Group Chat podcast. But I'm just posting and stepping out because I'm tired of learning all these social media apps, man. I'm that old, okay? I'm just done, man. Listen, I had Facebook. Now, so I had Facebook. I had MySpace, actually.
I love MySpace. I was wilding out on MySpace. You know how many good freaking artists came out of MySpace? Like, it was just crazy. MySpace was the joint back in the day, back in college.
With the music playing in your
I was
profile.
like, yo, this is amazing.
What?
This is hella dope. And then it just went away. And I was like, oh, God damn. Then, it was great.
Then it was the best, right? I mean, you had your favorite song playing in your profile, your top friends, right? That was a vibe.
Yeah,
right?
Your top friends, yeah.
Yeah. So then Facebook came along. We learned Facebook, of course. But then I stepped away from Facebook for years. Instagram came. I got Instagram. I know Instagram well, of course, right? Then as I started this process, right, building the podcast and stuff like that, I knew I needed all the social media apps. I went back to Facebook, man. I got lost. I was like, what the hell is this? What's going on here?
But there's so many elements of Facebook now. You know, you have your personal. You can do like a business page. You can do an influencers page. It's just this. Meta has just taken over everything, and they actually own Instagram, Meta. So it's just crazy. Like, it's just like you said, navigating yourself through these social media platforms are key. But for content purposes and building your business and your personal brand, You have to find which site is right for you. Not every site is right, because I have all those accounts, and I'm not active as much as I think I should be from a business standpoint on Facebook. I'm more on Instagram. Right. I have a TikTok page, but I don't really post because I always just goes past my head, and it's like, yo, just put some DJ videos on TikTok. Are you scratching or beat mixing? I guess I just don't have. Not that I don't have the drive.
Yeah,
I just rather put my time into something more valuable. And maybe I should shift a little bit. I don't know, but we'll see.
Listen, it depends on what you're doing, but this is consuming. This is time consuming. We were talking about that half an hour to an hour a day before. This whole thing is consuming your life. Like all these social media. There should be a social media app that allows you to post everywhere by you posting on that social media site.
I think there is.
See, listen,
I think
so
there
out
is.
of it.
I think there is. I think obviously it's a paid membership, but there's a few sites out there where you can actually schedule your post. So if someone who's a content creator, or even like someone from like myself or yourself, if they get all the information like on a Sunday night or Monday or whatever, and they just start putting stuff in, they can schedule to go out throughout the entire week. You ain't got to worry about it, you know. So I mean, that's another option that, you know, people can use. But social media, it's a gift and a curse. I would just say for everybody listening and watching, use it wisely, because those algorithms will get you. And those algorithms will get you in the worst way, because something will pop up on your screen that you don't want nobody to see. They're gonna question you. Why is Big Booty Judy popping up on your damn phone? I thought you was a DJ. What's all these damn girls? But it's just the algorithm, you know. So you have to kind of monitor your social media platform to where you're following.
Blame the algorithm.
And who's following you, because you have to. Because
blame the algorithm.
Always blame the algorithm.
I'll go into my search. Oh, let me look at some DJ stuff, and it'll be like a celebrity. I'm like, I ain't want to look at her ass. I'm like, I want to look at these new turntables. Well, okay, I'm gonna scroll, look at her ass. You know what I mean? But it's used for what it's used for. Just use it for what works for you. I ain't knocking nobody. If you got Big Booty Judy popping up on your, that's fine. Whatever, man. Like, yo, that's you, bro. That's you, sis. Do what you gotta do.
Listen. It's a distraction.
Yeah,
that's all I got from that. From that whole it's a fucking distraction.
Yeah,
that's all I got, man. Listen, life is crazy, man. You know, and thinking about it, right? We're here in social media age, right? What the hell does the future look like, right? That's the scary part, because we didn't grow up with none of this, right? We kind of like stumbled in this in our youth, right? Like during our youth and stuff like that. So now we know it, but what does this look like in the future? Like, this is insane. We're living in crazy times. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of misinformation through social media. And that's the point I was trying to get to earlier, because there's a lot of, I've heard that there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and even on TikTok and all that stuff. And then on the other side, you hear this guy, this is how you put an LLC. You do this, and then you take out $100,000, and it's like,
this is how you make $1 million in 1 hour.
Man,
really, bro?
Listen.
Really? Listen. You know what I mean?
People get crazy. I can understand it. Like, this should like suck your life in. And it's insane, man. Damn.
It's consuming, but like I said, to each his own. Like, you really have to use it for the best of your ability, and just try to find out what's actually the truth. You know, back in the day, we had encyclopedias if we wanted to find something.
Oh,
shit. It was like those million book encyclopedias. That was so hard. I actually got beat as a kid because I was being bad. My mom beat me with a book of encyclopedias one time.
Damn,
I was a bad kid like growing up. I was a bad kid. I will admit. Maybe we can get into it. I want to share too much. I want to start crying. Like, my mother beat me with encyclopedia books, and I'm just scarred for life. No, I don't want to get into it. But we had encyclopedias back in the day, and that's how we found information. You know what I'm saying? Now it's kind of like, if I want to find something, I'll just go on Google. Even it's like really quick on the DJ side, I want to tap into this with the TikTok generation. We call them the TikTok generation, specifically for DJs, because when I do parties, lounges, and clubs and stuff like that, they'll literally come up to me with their cell phone. Oh, can you play like some Taylor Swift? So, I'll get to it. Yeah, but you can't play it right now. No, I can't play it right now because I'm playing Jay-Z. Yeah, but Taylor Swift, she's gonna be at the Super Bowl tomorrow. I don't care.
Listen,
and it's crazy because going back to requests, a lot of times when people request stuff, I'm gonna get to it anyway. Yeah, you just gotta let me get there. But the TikTok generation, especially with music, is like they want things right now.
Listen,
it's like
it's a microwave.
It's like the karaoke. I call like nightclubs and bars right now the karaoke spot, because everybody needs like a sing-along song.
How many requests you get a night? Because that could be annoying.
Probably like 2 or 3 a night.
Even that much, that's a lot.
But like I said, it's stuff I'm going to get to. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, let me get to it with my mixes. Let it fall in the right place.
Right. And even if I don't have it, like I'll write down the name of the artist or the song and I'll just go research it. So next time I'm back at that spot, I can actually drop that song and learn about it. So requests are a gift and a curse for me because I learned from it. But like I said, it's a lot of times the stuff I'm going to get to anyway. I'm going to get to Taylor Swift, Cruise Summer,
all that stuff.
Welcome to New York. I will get to it, honey.
Listen, I got a couple of Swifties in the house. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? But, it's like the TikTok generation is just crazy. So, and music has just changed so much. It's just, music is just.
Let me ask you about that, because that's interesting, right? Because we have a lot of songs that we could always go back to, and it takes us to a certain time, right? But what do you feel about the current state of music in general? Because yes, there's some hits now that you could say could probably last the test of time, but we're coming from, and even the generation prior to us, right? Because even in the Spanish, Latin world, right? My dad and my mom always played these classic songs that were new to them in their era, but now they're super classic now.
Yeah.
And I will always play them. Timeless music. What do you think about the music now versus the music back then? I mean, we're coming from timeless music that we can still listen to today. I'm talking about different genres as well. I'm not just talking about Spanish. I'm talking about all types of genres. But do you get tired of doing like the listening to the music that is out today?
That's a very good question.
As a DJ, because you're listening to it constantly.
You're right. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to drop an oxymoron to it that's going to shock everybody.
Go ahead.
At the end of this thing. But, with the new music nowadays, things have to evolve. If people would consider it to be an evolution in music, things have to evolve. A lot of new artists coming out. And as a DJ in the modern times right now with modern music, you have to kind of embrace that. For me, I always find loopholes in songs. Like there's some songs that are out right now. I'm just like, there's no way I'm going to listen to this when I'm in the house cleaning or just chilling. But I have to play it at a party because this is what the people want to hear. This is what I'm booked for. Right. So I just try to find loopholes in like new music. There's a lot of talented artists out there. There's a lot of talented artists out there, but a lot of it does sound repetitive. You know what I mean?
It's been sounding repetitive for a while.
Repetitive, but you have to look at it like this. If an artist is coming out and they want to make a solid career, make some money, get their streams up, they're going to go to that specific sound. You know what I mean? But, with the classic music, like you mentioned before, it's like there's just songs out there that's just timeless. Like Michael Jackson's Thriller album is timeless.
Timeless.
Like you can still play that till this day. You can still find new sounds and new things that Quincy Jones incorporated in that album.
Yes.
Prince is timeless.
Yes.
Prince is an amazing artist. Rest in peace to both of them. I missed him dearly. But those two specific artists are just great because they were way ahead of their time. Even James Brown was way ahead of his time.
Right.
And the stuff that they were doing was just so different and so intricate that it just drew in a new crowd, black, white, brown, whatever race you were from, like you kind of gravitated to that music. But I just think it's just finding just like a loophole and understanding both. Like the younger generation, like from places I've spun at within the past couple of years, maybe a couple of months even, they're starting to embrace like a lot of throwbacks. I mean by throwbacks to them is like early 2000s and stuff like that. So they're asking for more of that stuff because they're young, so that's their old school.
Got it.
So some of them are not really into like the new music, so to speak. It's more like, oh, do you have some mid 2000s? Do you have some Chingy? Do you have some 50? Do you have some T-Pain? So that's their old school.
That era was good too.
Yeah, that era was good too.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
But just going back to the classics, even like with Motown and stuff like that, like we can still play that to this day, and just the lyrics they just hit. It just feels different.
The reason I'm asking, right, is because, and I want to get deeper into it, right, because we have that timeless music coming from our parents, us listening to it that we didn't want to listen to when we were younger, right? But now we can't stop listening to it because it's beautiful music, right? So maybe I have to look at it from a hindsight perspective where now that I'm older, I could appreciate the music from back then. But because my parents injected that into me all the time. Had they not, I would have lost that whole like music, timeless music era, right? For me.
Yeah.
However, in my house, we try to do the same thing. Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, just blast old school music. So now my daughter's a little, while they are Swifties, they're also a little bit, they're also little R&B heads and stuff like that. Like they love the old school R&B. Oh my God, that sounds so dope. Oh my God, that beat sounds so dope. Meanwhile, it's like, it's regular to us, but to them it's like brand new because they're hearing it for the first or second time. But even my niece, she has an old soul. How old is Jada?
15.
She's 15, but she loves old school music.
That's
meaning
dope.
Even our music, our timeless music, she loves it.
That's dope.
So that's because we're kind of like presenting it to them. Now, what happens to the kids with this era? Like I could only imagine my daughters being parents and not having their own timeless music to show to their kids. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
don't want that 504 and that's an old school joint. It's like, bro, really? That ain't old school. Well, it's old school to me because it came out 5 years ago. So it's old school, right?
Shit.
No.
Listen.
Nothing against Fabio. He's a great Brooklyn stand-up. Great artist. Talented artist.
I like Fabio. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too. But
you see what I got on my shirt today?
Who's that?
I got Nas.
Of course.
Come on, man.
Nasir Jones,
I'm
man.
not even a Met fan, and you see me rocking the Met hat because I'm wearing Nas.
But see, that's another example where this man Nas has a timeless album.
Yes. Timeless.
And just continues to put out great material to the point where he's still relevant to this day. And he's always followed his own lane. He's always talked about things that were very important to him because they built an actual fan base. And just like his music is timeless. So people like us, appreciate it. And like the newer generation will get into him. But it's all about your environment too, how you were brought up. In the house, all they played, my mom and dad, all they played was gospel. So I grew up on a lot of 80s R&B, a lot of 80s new wave.
Yeah.
And then of course music. 90s hip hop and 90s R&B and house music and reggae, even like Latin music I grew up on.
Golden era.
Yeah, so it's interesting because just going back to the Latin music, like I really got into that during the pandemic because I obviously had no damn choice. We were stuck in the house, right? And my girlfriend
wolfing and everything.
Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, she was Dominican, so she would just like feed me all this music, and she'll have the music playing in the background. I'll just like sneak Shazam it, and I'll be like, okay, I gotta download this song real quick. So next time I go to the club, I'm gonna throw this joint in, this Romeo joint. You know what I'm saying? So the girl's gonna be like, yeah, he know what he doing. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So to the point where my cousin, for the entertainment company I work for, Finer Touch Entertainment,
right?
He was like, yo, it was like these Latin brides requesting you. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, because they heard you playing your live stream. They're like, yo, I want him. My cousin's like, he's not Spanish, right? I don't care, but I want him to what he was doing, do what he does. So that just getting into that and really embracing it, understanding it, and just seeing how things work, as a DJ can kind of, for me, it broadened my network. I've done multicultural weddings, and I have my little pocket what I do, and I think I'm pretty good at it, but. It's like I said, it's just expanding your mind and being in that environment. I was in that environment to learn because I did the typical suave mente, which is...
Oh, please.
I know.
Please.
You can't play suave mente at a real Latin party because you'll get shot.
Listen, let me tell you something. You might not get shot.
No, you will get shot.
But you might get stabbed.
You might get shot and stabbed.
Listen, can we set this record once and for all?
All right,
please, all the listeners out there. And if you like it, perfect. That's you. But please, for all the DJs out there, that's not the go-to, right?
But for some DJs, it is.
I don't know.
Some DJs,
it depends on the party. It depends.
Yeah, because what
it
the
depends
crazy
on the party.
The crazy thing is, I did a holiday party at the Hard Rock Cafe back in December, and it was a HHA PCA company, and the guy that booked me, he said, yeah, it's a holiday party, I'm all right, cool. Holiday parties just play popular shit.
Right.
Just mix it up, whatever, blah, blah. And I get there, I'm looking around the room, I'm like, all right.
You got to look around.
I'm looking around the room like, all right. And then I told the guy, I was texting the guy during the party, I was like, yo, it's like a lot of Latin people here. If you would have sent, the other guy to do this, he would have been stuck.
Yeah.
that Suavemente bag. He would have got shot or stabbed. You know what I mean? So luckily I was there to like, all right, I know what to do.
I can't believe this is a bag.
Yeah, it's a bag. To a certain extent, to where I can satisfy those individuals and other people in the party. He was like, wow, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that. So it just goes back to being in your environment and learning and stuff like that. But DJs, it's a go-to song sometimes, but honestly, I don't really care for that song, but people do. And shout out to Elvis Crespo. Like, you know, he got hits. He knew what he was doing.
He got a hit.
He knew what he was doing. Yes. He's like, I'm going to let this ride out. This is going to be the freaking wedding song of the year. Grandma's going to dance to it. I'm going to get my check. And, that's it. So
he did what
can't
he
be
had
mad
to
at
do.
him.
No. I'm not even mad at him. I'm just...
my man, yo. Yo, see if you can get him on the show. That'd be dope.
I'm going to see. Elvis, come take a seat, man.
That'd be dope.
I want to talk to you about your anthem.
I want to be here when he's here.
Please. we gotta talk this through. Because it depends on the Latin crowd. Yeah. Right? If I could tell you personally, if it's a Dominican crowd, you might get a chair thrown at you or something. Like, I don't know.
You get shot, stabbed, and a chair thrown at you?
I don't know.
That sounds like an amazing party.
Violence, but it may turn.
I want to go to that party.
Listen, we may all want to go to that party.
And how about Píntame?
Oh, shit. No.
Wait, Píntame means paint me, right?
Listen, just don't even learn it. Just please.
Why you want somebody to paint you?
Yes,
listen.
Exactly.
No, I mean like a portrait or like somebody paint on you.
Listen, I don't know. Listen, I don't even. Listen.
I'm a germaphobe, so nobody painting on my ass. Screw that shit. You ain't touching me. You can paint me, but you ain't painting me.
You know what?
That makes sense.
Let's dive into this, right? Let's dive into the Píntame. He's kind of like saying it. Why am I breaking this down?
I don't know.
Listen, he's saying like, draw me.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Listen, shouts out to who is it? Elvi Crepo, right? Shout out to Elvi Crepo. You got a hit, you got an anthem, but that's not the go-to. Not in all. I'm just letting you know. Before you get
I know. Trust me, I know, bro. Like, I know.
Listen.
That's like my last resort. It's like, oh, okay. Like, grandma wants
Has anybody ever requested it? That's the question.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
There are people
just recently at the spot at DJ on Wednesday nights. This lady came up to me. Oh, can you play it? I'm like, okay.
Wow. She should get
Hey, man, listen.
Terrible.
Listen, shout out to that lady. I don't know what she was.
She was a nice lady, though. She was nice. She's,
I'm pretty
can
sure.
you play it for me? Because I'm here. It's my birthday. And then when I hear Suavemente, I'm like, Suave what? Suavemente.
Oh, man,
but
listen.
it is what it is. You got to please the people, man.
We have a whole, and something I never thought would happen, a whole Elvis Crespo segment.
All right, yeah. Yeah, we give him too much props. So on to the next thing. He already got his money. Yeah.
Yes, please.
He got his money already, man.
Oh, man. Let's talk about... hold on a second. Let's take a break, man. Hold on a second. You got me off guard, man. This is good, man.
Nah, this is good, yo.
This is good.
Yeah, yo.
Good comment.
Yo, this is lit, man. That's what it's all about.
Listen.
This is real conversation and real shit. And the fucking legenda, the legend is kicking in.
Listen,
Wait,
you want some more?
Nah, bro.
I
don't be going back to the train station like...
If you get a refill, I get a refill.
Oh.
What's up? We doing it?
All right, yes.
Let's do the leyenda, baby.
I'm be going back to the goddamn train
hold
station
on
like, where am I at?
I don't know, man. The leyenda's kicking in.
It is.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm touching the back of my neck. Like I'm rubbing the back of my neck like, oh, shit. Lord. This is great, man.
Listen. It's good convos, man.
Shit, you need an intern or some shit? Like,
oh, man.
But I'll just put a cot right here. Like, yo. I just need a bed and a box and I'm good. That's it, yo.
Hey, listen.
And some Wi-Fi and I'm all right.
I'm going to be honest with you. Before I had the heater and the cooling system in here, I didn't have it. I didn't have the cooling or the heating system. But now that I do, all I need is a bathroom back here.
Yeah, we get like a little thing, but yo.
I'm going to be starting fights in the house. So, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to the back.
On purpose.
That's it. I got my TV, like, I got my Wi-Fi, I got my bed, I'm good.
I just be like throwing dishes for no reason and just going back here. Like, don't worry about it.
I just got to play that one song. Píntame. And it's over in the house. I got to come back here.
Hell yeah. I love it, man. I love it.
Ah, man, listen, switching gears a little bit.
All right.
Let's talk a little bit about hobbies versus... what you call it? Let's talk a little bit about hobbies versus passions.
Okay.
Right? DJing for you. You said you had 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Doing the DJing. A lot of success, a lot of parties. I'm pretty sure you've done over 1,000 parties in your lifetime already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're way past that. Was it a hobby at first or was it a passion? There's a reason why I'm asking.
It was... It's interesting because I have an oxymoron I'm still going to drop on y'all that you might find crazy.
Go ahead.
I kind of fell into it because I was always into music, always liked music and stuff like that. But how I got into DJing was, God rest my parents' soul. We had a house in Mount Vernon, and we used to always throw like big summer cookouts in the backyard for the whole community. And my cousin Harold, who's, he started his DJ business, and he actually got me into DJing. He used to DJ our cookouts in the backyard.
Right.
And my dad used to give him $300.
It's a good gig.
I'm like, wait a minute. So you get $300 for this. I don't even get $3 for taking out the trash.
There you go.
He's like, yeah. Something wrong with that. Okay. So, all right, cool. But he was always like, nah, come DJ, come learn. I was like, I was, like I said, I was a bad kid growing up. I was always chasing girls, playing tackle football on Concrete Street. I still got the scars to prove it and stuff like that.
Right.
Cutting school, and stuff like that, hanging out in the corner. So that wasn't really my focus. But what happened was my best friend Marlon, may he rest in peace too. He died tragically years ago.
Wow.
His father was a DJ in Jamaica.
Okay.
So his father had like the old school dub plates and like the whole basement full of like the belt drive turntables and just records all around. The basement was amazing. It smelled like mold. You couldn't breathe down there. It was wet,
but it was dope.
But we loved it. You know what I'm saying? So I just started going over there and just messing with reggae records, Bob Marley stuff, the Wailers, all those old school reggae artists, and
timeless.
Yeah, timeless stuff. And I just started getting more into music in that side to the point where, I don't know if you guys remember, like the Chinese snack box used to be like $5, the Chinese food snack boxes. So when I used to eat Chinese food, which I don't eat anymore, but back in the days, Chinese food, when you're young, you're broke. That's all you had.
That's all you had.
And it was in every hood, so you couldn't. Chinese food, liquor store, church. You know what I mean? So.
And it slapped.
Yeah, and it slapped.
Back then.
It hit back then. So when I first started to get into DJing and buying records, me and my friend would go to this spot called Yellowbird Records in Mount Vernon, really popular spot. And my mom would give me $5 to get Chinese food. All right. I would go spend $5 on buying a record instead of getting food. And my friend Marlon, he was a foodie. He always liked to eat. He'll eat anything you put in front of him. So I'm like, yo, let's go around the corner or up the street. I'll get the record. You buy the Chinese food. So when we come back around the corner, you carry the record, and I'll carry the Chinese food like I got it. Then when we get in his house, we'll switch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of course, I'll give him some of the food because he was, like I said, he was a foodie. He was greedy.
It was a plan.
Right. And my mom caught on to it. She like whooped my ass. I'm giving you $5 for some damn Chinese. You getting these goddamn records and stuff like that. But I kind of like had to tell her, listen, this is what I want to do. And she was like, all right, just try it out. And that's how I really got into it. And like I still remember the first two records I mixed. Right. It was Fat Boys All You Can Eat and Sucker NCs by Run DMC. I mixed those two records. Those are the first two records I ever mixed in my life. And then as time went on, 90s hip hop came in. The other two records that I mixed, the other three records that I mixed were Scenario Tribe Called Quest, Cypress Hill, How I Get His Killer Man,
wow,
and Black Sheep, Choice Is Yours.
Wow.
So I mixed in front of my cousin. He was like, where'd you learn how to do this? I was, friend's house across the street. He was like, do it again. I did it again. He was like, wow. So those three records turned into mixing 5 records. Like I said, consistency, little by little. Those 5 records turned into mixing 10 records. 10 records turned into mixing 20 records. So it was to the point where he started having me open up for him. So I just do like 10 minutes. Right. So I did my little Scenario, How I Can Just Kill a Man, Black Sheep. Right. And it started going more and more to the point where like he was like, you're going to do half the party.
Right. Right.
Got to the point where you do all the party. You know what I mean? So that's how I really got into it. So I just, like I said, I always liked music, but just finding a pocket to obviously manipulate and to mix it was like, I understood why. But first I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want to chase girls and play tackle football on the concrete and get scars and leave me alone. And watch Saturday morning cartoons. But when I found that was kind of like my niche. So I just kept going with it, man. And 31 years later, you know, I'm blessed to be where I'm at, you know?
Right. You know, the DJ is the life of the party. I always say the DJ can make or break the party, right? Those records that you guys drop at a certain moment in the night, that'll impact the whole crowd, right?
Yeah.
It's the most important piece, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, I wouldn't say I was much of a musician, but at a very early age, I learned how to kind of like deal with Fruit Loops. And this is the next generation, right? Because before that, it was like the actual instruments and stuff. And people still do it till this day like that. But for me, my dad bought me a compact computer, which was like those big square computers that came with like a booklet, like 100 CDs. Remember that, Natalie?
Yeah, I remember those.
For like $3,000. It was like, you know, but it was like very slow. But for us, it was fast at the time. But it came with a demo of Fruity Loop. So me and my cousin was playing around with it. And then, you know, shortly after we was playing around with it, we found out it was kind of like different sounds, Congo sounds, drums, all this and that. So I learned, my cousin actually put me on. He kind of like set the tempo. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we started like making beats. Like it was corny. But for us, we're creating.
It was amazing.
We was like, yo, this is like, we're kids. We're like, yo, this is amazing. This is dope. To the point, and I told the story before on the podcast, to the point where I created reggaeton beats and I recorded reggaeton songs and I have a video. I'm not gonna tell you what the link is though, but everybody already
Come on, man, send me that link, yo. I'm gonna download that joint and play the next part. Yo, who this? Yo, my man, yo.
Hey, listen,
he got the joint B, he got the podcast.
Hey, listen,
yo,
wait,
check it out, son.
Wait.
The legend is talking.
Listen. I will not promote that song.
Okay.
It's cool. I'm gonna send you the link.
Yeah, I'll listen to it.
You can do it, but it's old at this point. But back then I thought it was lit. Shit. It's my song. I did it, right? So it's my creation. But it's to the point where, you know, a lot of us love music and we want to take it to the next level. I wanted to take it to the next level in the artistry side. But that shit is a lot of work, man. It all goes back to consistency. You stood on path, right?
Yeah.
You stood on path and DJing, and now you look back, you're like, wow, 30 years gone, right? But it's a lot of effort, a lot of sweat and tears, a lot of consistency.
It's a lot of sacrifice too. Like, you don't know, like for DJs who are busy out there, or even for entrepreneurs, like there's like a lot of times we have to be away from your family on the weekends. Like 4th of July weekend, I'm working. Like, I can't enjoy the fireworks in the backyard. Yeah. Or I can't go to the cookout, grandma's cookout, because I'm doing a wedding. So it's a lot of sacrifice that I had to deal with. And sometimes it got depressing. It's like, damn, I just want to hang out with my family or my significant other. And sometimes I felt guilty. Like I would be like, I'm sorry, I can't be here because I have to work. So if you're a consistently working DJ, we all know like DJs have like that slow point where it's kind of like nothing coming in. Right. So when something comes in, you got to kind of like eat it up and just try to stay consistent and stuff like that. So me doing it for 31 years, I've kind of gotten used to saying, okay, this is sacrifice. There's a bigger picture to doing this. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go. I'll probably DJ until like I'm 99, God willing, but I don't think I'll ever stop.
It's a passion.
I mean, there's one time I did want to stop, and it was at the point where it was like, I guess like the Little John era. Right. And I love Little John. Respect him. He's a very, very smart businessman.
There you go.
And a very talented artist, as I've come to know over the years.
I will say he has some timeless hits, too.
Right?
But that's another point.
Yeah, but that era when that started coming out, I was like, what the hell what is this? Like, you know, I'm into 90s boom bap, early 2000s, Def Jam, Rough Riders, you know, Death Row. But when this came, I was like, what?
Totally different.
And I wanted to stop. And I remember telling my girlfriend at the time, I was like, yo, I want to stop because it just doesn't feel right anymore. And there was two things that brought me back to DJing. It was the movie Brown Sugar with Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan. After I saw that movie just spoke to me. All right, okay. I get it. There's hope. Yes. And then there was a group called Slum Village out of Detroit. Rest in peace, Jay Dilla. Fantastic Voyage, Volume 2. That album brought me back. Right. My friend was like, listen to this album. I was like, no, I don't. He's like, trust me, bro. Listen to this album right now. And I listened to it, and I was like, okay, that's 2 signs within a week span. There's still hope. So I was going to stop completely, but those 2 things brought me back.
Right.
And like I said before, it's just finding a loophole within the modern music that's out now. Because like I said, there's a lot of talented people out there. Some of it does sound repetitive, but you just have to find your loopholes. And like I said, it's just your own personal taste and what you find to be what's considered art.
Right.
You got to think about it. Somebody has to go into a studio, record it.
It's a lot.
Mix it down, deal with personalities, push it out, whether it's on a label or on their social media or on their SoundCloud. It takes a lot of work to put a stupid song out, but it's a song.
That may or may not hit.
Yeah, they did it. You know what I mean? So you got to respect them for trying at least.
Of course.
And it's also depending on what the crowd wants to hear. That the people, this is a sound that the people want to hear. It's cool. It's funny because I actually went to like a DJ meetup yesterday in Brooklyn.
Right.
And first of all, I was the oldest person there. I'm looking around like, yo, these kids are in high school. They freshmen in college. I feel like a grandfather. I got my damn work clothes. Look like I work for IT. They got on like they steel boots and all they fresh kicks and stuff. But to the point, the younger generation is creating their own niche of music. They were playing nothing but drum and bass and techno house. I was the only one playing hip hop. You had like a 15-minute set. So I was the only one that's playing hip hop, Latin, reggae, and open format within 15 minutes.
Got it.
And all of them came up to me after and was like, yo, that was a dope set. Like, but if you look at it, that demographic is not used to seeing like an actual DJ. Like there was one guy standing next to me, he's like, yo, we got a real DJ in the house. He's really scratching. He was like into it. And I'm just like, all right. You know, to me it's like second nature, but to them it's like they just push buttons and do stuff like that. Some of them were talented. But for him to say, yo, we got a real DJ, he was like actually looking at me like scratching. Wow, that's amazing. You know, it's like I said, it's just
right.
I don't want to be that old head hating like, oh, this music sucks, because you can't, because you got to embrace.
You got to embrace.
We still in it. I'm still in, so you got to embrace it some way somehow.
You got to embrace the new. But for every crowd, there's a DJ, right? So there will always be opportunities, and that's the beauty of it. Now, another point that you made earlier, I had the last podcast that I did was with a good friend of mine. He's the Passaic County in New Jersey's Passaic County in New Jersey commissioner.
Okay, cool.
And he was a DJ.
Oh, dope.
For 25 years. And he was explaining and breaking down that story. And he was also telling me that he missed out on a lot of family time. And, you know, and when you hear those things, you know, somebody may hear it and, you're the DJ, you're the party, you know, contributor. You're like the go-to. Meanwhile, you might be going through a lot of things internally that nobody knows. You're putting out good energy through your DJing, but you're missing out on a lot of solid family time, and that's important, man. So I understand it. As he was breaking it down too, I understood it as well, you know, because I get it. You have your highs and lows in any world, right? In any entrepreneur journey, you have your highs and lows, but in that particular like DJing world, I could imagine when things pick up, you have to kind of like maneuver. Yeah. And you know, you can't, and if that's the only thing you do, right? Because that's not the only thing that he did, but he had passion for it, and that was his second gig at that time. But you know, why not get that cash or that extra income at that time? But you're missing out on opportunities. Not opportunities, you're missing out on family time, kids time, wife time, all that stuff. So it's a gift and a curse. Everything, man. Everything is a gift and a curse.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're like a traveling DJ, you know, you're traveling across the world and stuff like that. You know, it's
I can only imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to get to that point. I'm not married. I don't have any children. Hopefully, one day, ladies are listening. Hi, you know, but you know, it's sacrifice and discipline and consistency. You know, I've been to times where I've DJ'd and I've been very emotional inside.
Wow.
But I still did what I had to do. I DJ'd through breakups, DJ'd through family members dying.
Wow.
You know, while I'm DJing, I got a text, so so-and-so passed away. It's kind of like, oh, wow. You know, so a lot of us DJs just really go through a lot of things. And of course, we can't show our emotions when we're performing or when we're doing what we have to do, because we're paid to do something, so we have to kind of keep it as is. But there's a lot of times I DJ do a lot of bullshit while I'm actually DJing. And, you know, it's just putting on that face, that cape, and all right, let me just go in and do my job. And once I'm done, then I can go and just, you know, embrace what happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's a gift and a curse. I love it. Sometimes I hate it, then I go back to loving it, and I go back to hating it. But ultimately, I do love it, and I've been doing it for such a long time. It brings joy to me, and it's a really good thing. But there are some times where I'm just like, damn, man, I wanted to go to cousin Juju's cookout, yo. Yeah, a bunch of big booty Judies over there. Now I'm here DJing a goddamn bar mitzvah. You know what I mean? So, but to drop the oxymoron I was talking about before, it's funny when I'd say this to people. I'm a DJ, I love it, but I cannot stand loud music.
What?
I cannot stand loud music. Let me explain.
Yeah, please.
When I'm home, the music in my house does not go past level 5.
What?
When a car drives by with loud music, I get annoyed. But I'm a DJ. I told people that like, yo, but you're a DJ. How could you not like loud music? But that's the point where there's a disconnect. Let me do what I gotta do over here, but when I'm home, I'm relaxing.
Right.
I play jazz at home. I play salsa at home. I play 90s R&B, 90s hip hop. Right. I play like soulful house.
At a
point where you can still feel it in your chest, but I still want to be able to have a conversation. I still want to be able to enjoy, the environment. I don't like music blasting in my ear. Like I cannot stand loud music.
That is definitely an oxymoron.
I know, right?
That is definitely.
When I tell people that, they're like, huh? Why? You would. Why? I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I don't like my music.
You would think that the DJ always, even in his car, goes to his house, is just loud. Just you're the total opposite.
Total opposite. I just want to burn the candle. Let's do some damn Sade in a damn bathrobe with some damn ginger, legend, or whatever the hell you call it, and just chill. That's it. I don't want to listen to no Pop Smoke. Freaking 7:00 at night. Trying to do a drill dance in my damn church socks and busting my ass on the floor.
Them drill.
Listen. I don't want to do that. Give me my robe, my Sade, my legend, and a candle.
Yes. Listen.
And some Netflix and Wi-Fi, and I'm good.
Listen, man.
I'm an interesting person, I know.
You are. You definitely are.
Did I tell you how I got my name, my DJ name?
How you got it?
All right, let me try to keep this short. So, Brownboi, right?
Right.
I had a bunch of corny DJ names in the past. I was Poo Love.
Oh, talk to me. Let me know.
Shortstop.
Stop right there.
Yeah, because I'm short.
Stop right there. Poo Love.
Yeah.
How? What?
I don't know. It just like Poo Love. All right, cool. Well, my nickname is, oh God. My nickname is Poopy. Poopie.
This is the legend.
Because my mom said I used to shit a lot as a baby.
This is
no, seriously. Every time I change a diaper, you take a shit. It's like you did it on purpose. So Poopy. They still call me Poopy. I'm freaking 47 years old, and they still call me Poopy,
That's
right?
it. That's your name.
Right, so Poo Love. All right, whatever. So that's how that came about. I ain't like that. Short stuff, because I'm short. Okay. Nah. So then how Brownboi came about was 2 reasons. Brown is one of my favorite colors, as you can see right now. Anything brown and natural, that's my favorite.
Nice.
One of my favorite color tones. James Brown is one of my favorite artists of all time. Like I said, he was ahead of his time. He pushed the limit. He put out great music. He was a social activist, for what he did. Of course, he had his demons he had to fight with, but for the most part, amazing, talented artist. Laid the foundation for like basically all of hip hop, all of soul music. Godfather of soul, rest in peace.
Right.
The name Boy, B-O-I, Big Boy from Outkast, is one of my favorite MCs.
100%.
So I pay homage to him. He was also another artist that continues to push the envelope, to do great things, and to really just be himself.
Yes.
So Brownboi.
Perfect.
Brownboi. Of course, you go to your friends and ladies. Hey, how's it sound?
Check it out.
It rolls nice off the tongue. So I was, all right, Brownboi. So I kind of put it together to the point where it's like, yo, Brown, yo, boy, what's up? So it was actually funny because it was actually one time I was at my residency on Wednesday nights, and I was playing Bollywood Punjabi music.
Okay.
And this girl came up to me.
You really into different cultures.
Yeah, I'm into like everything, bro, literally.
Yeah.
And this girl came up to me and she was like, how do you know about this music? Oh, I listen to everything, I follow the BPMs. It has a beat, I'm just like,
You vibing.
But that just goes to the point, like listening to different music and understanding
Understanding the
and just
cultures.
understanding, like just dropping that stuff at the right time. They're like, oh my God, this is so, I never heard this played like this in the club. Thank you for representing me for even for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you've been to places and it's just like, you don't feel right. You're like, I don't really feel the environment. For me, I go everywhere. I don't care. Like, you can play indie rock, emo, hip hop, R&B, salsa, bachata, cumbia, whatever. I'm good because I like everything. But so some people like, I got to hear one thing so I can feel comfortable.
For me,
you know what I mean?
For me, it's funny. You said you kind of like broke down the name, right? For me in this podcast, I didn't want to just say, welcome to this group, welcome to the That's Group Chat podcast. I'm Geraldo. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my real name, by the way. I go off Santana, right, which is my last name. And the reason why I go off Santana for most people is because, you know, I was in the military. That's what they used to call me, kind of like stuck. Kind of like stuck on me. And it sounds good to me, right? It's my last name as well. But here, you know, in reality, the reason why they call me G is because everybody calls me G. Yeah. Everybody. Like cousins, family, friends. Only at work they call me Santana, actually. But yeah, so here it was, they call me G. But my artistic name, I wish I had a like story for it. It was insane. I was like, I didn't go to anybody to see how it rolled off the tongue because I knew it sounded kind of crazy. But that's a story for another day.
It might have sounded crazy to you. It might have sounded dope to somebody else.
Probably, yeah. But either way, it was like, it's a done deal.
Okay.
That's the past. Either way. Last question for you, my brother.
Yes.
And again, thank you for joining the podcast. But last question for you that I have is, somebody's trying to become a DJ now. They're very young. They're like 10, 12, right? They're trying to figure it out. They're doing it as a hobby. They don't know that they're really passionate about it yet, but they will be. What advice would you give to that young person? You being in the game for 30 years already.
That's a really good question. I would basically say, of course, practice makes perfect. Look to learn, look to network, and look to understand the culture. Don't just do it because it's a cool thing right now. And I bought a little DJ controller and a little cheap laptop, and I'm in my bedroom, and I'm playing the music that I want. Practice, learn, and reach out to other DJs and network, and understand the craft. Because there's a lot of young DJs coming up that are really doing it and really doing big things. Right. But there are some that's in it for the wrong reasons. And I get it. Like, if you're in it for a paycheck only, like I said, everybody is on their own lane, on their own planet, in their own universe. Right. But for those who are really up and coming and want to learn, I would just say understand the culture, understand where it comes from originally, and seek mentorship. You know what I mean? For like someone like myself, or like a DJ who's been in the game for a long time, and just kind of just be under their wing and just, you got to go out and just network. I mean, of course you can't go out to a club at 12 years old. Right. I don't know which 12-year-old is sleeping in the club, sneaking in the club. No. I mean, I did back in the day, back in Skate Key, but you know what I mean? But,
in
you know,
DR,
yeah,
no.
That's another story. That's like part 2. That's like the uncut version.
The uncut version of our pod.
But no, really practice, really learn, understand, and really find a mentor to really learn under. Because it's just more than just pushing buttons and playing music. It's the business side. It's relationships.
There is, yeah.
Understanding what it is to set up equipment, break down equipment, understanding what it is to deal with vendors and managers and catering halls, because those relationships are very key, you know, to the point where you walk into a place and say, hey, James, how you doing? We got your setup for you and stuff like that. Relationships are very important, so you don't want to burn your bridges at such a young age, because people remember things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes people will throw that in your face.
At the right time.
Remember when you like said no to me years ago, and you know, or something to that nature. So I would say for the young DJs, just practice, learn. I mean, do what you gotta do as far as, you know, what you're considered is your modern music and stuff like that. But also learn the classic stuff, because if you can throw that in and just mix it in, I think you'll be at a good spot. And patience is very important. Like, nothing's going to happen overnight. Yeah. It goes back to that TikTok generation. Can I have it right now? Because it's on my phone and I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. Can you play Taylor Swift? No. Not right now. But, you know, just being patient and understanding the game, that discipline, consistency is very important. And I think if they stick to that, they'll they'll start to get a feel of what this culture and this craft is. And you might stay with it. You might fall out, might find out, hey, this ain't for me. You know, okay, you might be like, all right, this is what I want to do as a full-time career or as a part-time career. But once again, my message is stay consistent, practice, be humble. Don't come in as an asshole, because I know you're 12 or 15 years old. You think you know everything. No, you don't. You're still young. Learn, find a mentor. And then that's just my advice.
There's a lot of kids out there playing with the equipment and stuff like
There's
that.
There's a lot.
You know, and, you know, you could be 16, 17, 18, just trying to figure out what they want to do, really.
And a lot of them are very talented. Like, I've heard like a lot of young DJs. I'm like, wow, that transition was crazy. But, you know, if you're a teenager and that's all you want to do and you're in your bedroom, I mean, look, when I was coming up, I used to literally run home from school and go to my bedroom and just practice all day. Even while I was in school taking a history test, I want to get in the turntables. Screw Christopher Columbus. He was an asshole anyway. Whatever. I want to get to my turntables. You know what I'm saying? So I used to run home, and just that passion and that feeling. Like I try to hold on to it, but I guess for this younger generation, that's what they like too. So, but like I said, consistency, discipline, mentorship, being humbled, and just learning and craft.
And definitely have an open ear to other cultures.
Yeah.
That's going to help you in the long run, right? Especially in the DJing conversation. You have to be open to all types of different sounds and music, and surprise people while you're DJing too with those sounds and music, because that'll set you apart. Right? Yeah. DJ Brownboi in the building, baby. Thank you, James, for joining the podcast. Where could people reach to you? Where could people reach out to you social media wise?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Legend, for this red plastic cup. But no, you guys can reach me on Instagram at DJ Brownboi. Of course, the boy is spelled B-O-I. I'm mostly on Instagram, and I do answer my DMs, so it is actually me. I don't have a young intern pressing buttons for me. It's actually me. So you guys can reach me there. All my information is there and stuff like that. If you guys have any questions about DJing, or if you want a book, just hit me up. I'm just there, but I'm mostly on Instagram and stuff like that. Working on a webpage right now, but Instagram is a spot right now.
You know what's cool about you, though, to be honest, and we'll end on this note. You seem very open to the younger generation as well and giving information. That's the most important part. Even me in this podcast, where while I'm learning, I'm also giving information to those who want to do it as well.
Yeah.
And that's important, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you're the way you are.
I could be an asshole.
I mean, we could all be assholes.
At the right time, though.
Yeah, but not
at the right time. I could be a little bit of an asshole, a tiny bit. But majority of the time, I'm approachable. I'm cool, man.
And we'll drop it like that. Yeah. Thank you so much, DJ Brownboi, for joining the podcast. For all the listeners, like, share, subscribe. We out. Peace.
We out, man. See y'all later.
Yeah.
The legend, Pinta Me.
Listen, hey.
Oh, he sing too.
Listen, hey, hold on. We need a redo. Bang.